I think Western is a university that is accessible for people with disabilities. There's a lot of ramps that are around the buildings that people on wheelchairs and crutches are able to take up instead of, struggling upstairs and whatnot. There's elevators in almost every building that I know of, so I will have to agree and say that Western is accessible for people with disabilities.
The international access symbol, which has an arrow underneath it pointing that direction. If I want to get into the comm building, I have to go down this ramp, through those doors, turn left, go up the elevator half a floor, and then I can get into the lobby of the communication building instead of just entering those doors over there and going up 4 steps.
I feel like they do their part to, or they try to make people with disabilities not have to worry about their disability. Like, I know I'm in the music program and there's a girl with a wheelchair, and before she came to the school, they added ramps and like they knew she was going to be in the music department and the building wasn't up to par, so they added ramps and elevator to accommodate for her disability. So I feel like, yeah, Western definitely does a good job.
My daughter in a wheelchair, she has a neuromuscular disorder, and to traverse across Western's campus is a little difficult. You need to have a lot of humor in being able to do that, and you need to work a lot with the campus because you struggle with possibly not being able to get into buildings, bathrooms aren't accessible, all the daily things that you take for granted that you're able to do at home or other places. Because Western is such an old campus, it doesn't necessarily provide those things that you would assume it should provide. So on a daily basis, we're calling because an elevator isn't opening or it isn't moving, or a handicap accessible door opener is broken, and we have the number memorized, so.
When I think of diversity, I don't think of like defining it as a term. I think of what comes to my mind is like a large body of people and the different qualities in that group of people coming together to create a diverse atmosphere, meaning like different aspects, different qualities in people making up one thing.
People on campus are promoting diversity, but then you never hear about disabilities. You always hear about race or ethnicity, or look how many new students of color are coming on Western's campus, but then there's only like 8 or 9 of us in wheelchairs, and so there's just like that difference of like, why aren't there more promoting, like talking about disabilities or more forums or stuff like that? And there are forums, but I don't feel like most students know about them. And so just getting that word out, and I don't think a lot of people know that we have a disabilities outreach center on campus, so promoting that would be really awesome too.
Absolutely, because diversity is differences in each other. So like, not necessarily disabilities is a disadvantage, but it's diverse because they're different, not in a negative way. But
I don't necessarily believe that. I think it's really hard for students, especially students with physical disabilities, to even get around campus. And it's not fun to hear your kid come home and talk about how there was a small group discussion and everybody just turned their back and joined a group and she wasn't included in that circle, and then she had to work her way around to be able to fit into a group when somebody finally did incorporate her into the group. I think it's frustrating on a physical level that the campus itself doesn't promote accessibility.
I honestly haven't felt too welcome at Western's. I don't know, maybe 4 or 5. There are places I can get, there are places I can't get. Like I said, they're separate but equal access, which is kind of frustrating. I do feel like there's been a lot of people who just kind of ignore that I'm there, or they don't know how to talk to me, and so that's
kind of unwelcoming. There's professors that have had a hard time with me asking for accommodations. I've had one professor get really frustrated that I wanted accommodations. I've had another professor not give me my accommodations.